is CTV News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Windsor Police Service is deploying a new unit to address some of the most heinous crimes. Earlier this month, they launched the Child Abuse and Sexual Assault Unit. Joining us now with more details on this is CTV's Robert Lothian tonight. Robert.
Stefanie, this is work that for more than a decade has been conducted by varying investigators. By creating its own unit, though, the police service believes it can better serve the community and help more victims of these crimes feel comfortable coming forward. For the first time in about 15 years, the Windsor Police Service is dedicating a unit to child abuse and sexual assault. Known as CASA, the goal is to increase the support for those who need it most.
So working with community partners and engaging with the Crown, it's about doing a wraparound services for these complainants and victims and survivors.
Working out of the unit are 6 investigators trained to navigate these complex cases, reviewing reports, conducting interviews, and working closely with the legal system. Over time, the goal is to make for faster investigations.
Trained on providing trauma-informed type of interview process to ensure that we're doing the least amount of re-victimization as possible.
According to the Windsor Police Service, in 2025, they investigated 245 child abuse-related incidents and 713 sexual assault-related incidents. Establishing a standalone unit, the staff sergeant hopes can help more victims come forward.
Doing things like this today is that people feel more comfortable reporting these types of crimes and coming forward and knowing that they're going to be supported and believed and trusted.
Even after coming forward, the justice system can be daunting. Months, if not years, of sitting with uncertainty.
We're going to support them, and then we're just not going to say, okay, we'll see you in court in 2 years. They're going to be they'll be introduced to a community partner that can assist them and help them throughout this process to the end.
As some of the most traumatizing crimes, Seaburger says members specifically applied to be part of the unit, hoping to help make a difference. For those looking to access the Child Abuse and Sexual Assault Unit, Windsor Police have dedicated a specific phone line. You can find those details on our website. Stefanie.
Okay, Robert Lothian with our top story tonight. Thank you, Robert. Another news, a young man from Windsor is behind bars tonight in prison for an attempted armed carjacking. The offender targeted a stranger, threatening to use a loaded assault rifle. As CTV's Michelle Molesky reports, the man's lawyer says the headline only tells half the story.
On June 3rd, 2025, a 23-year-old man approached a stranger in the area of Walker Road and Calderwood Avenue. He was carrying a modified SKS rifle similar to this one. He demanded the stranger's car. The stranger convinced the man to walk away. He wasn't hurt and quickly called police. Officers responded and located the suspect not far away.
It was suicide by cop. That was my interpretation.
Lawyer Dan Scott says the man wanted to plead guilty from the beginning.
He's remorseful throughout and basically stays in the area until the police arrive. He doesn't run away. He stays in the area.
According to Scott, the offender was struggling with a serious mental health crisis.
He spiraled out of control with the death of his son, understandably.
Assistant Crown Attorney Jamie Lesperance gave the man credit for the guilty plea, genuine show of remorse to the court, and a limited criminal record. However, the seriousness of the crime was not overshadowed by those mitigating circumstances. I cannot imagine the fear and terror the accused actions caused the immediate victim and the nearby citizens who thankfully called emergency services, Lesperance told the court. Justice Daniel Topp agreed. He sentenced the man to 5 years in prison for armed robbery and possession of an illegal firearm and the ammunition to go in it.
I know it sounds harsh, but the Court of Appeal has said for this sort of offense with that sort of a weapon, 8-9 years could have easily been imposed.
In his nearly 30 years as a criminal defense lawyer, Scott has noticed a significant increase in mental health motivated crimes before the court.
I don't know what the cause is. I certainly don't know what the solution is.
Scott says the offender intends to take mental health counseling while in prison, and he hopes to join the skilled trades after he completes at least 1/3 of the sentence. In Windsor, Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
The Ontario Hockey Federation has released a public update on tampering allegations in the fall that was felt across the province, with open border policies leading to sanctions for several minor hockey centres, including Windsor. Here's CTV's Bob Belichico.
I don't like what it's done to minor hockey. It's made it a business.
Rule changes by the Ontario Hockey Federation last year opened borders for players ranging from U10 and older from AAA to House League. Tampering became a big issue, as shown by the OHF. They released a list of 16 centers hit by sanctions, ranging from recruitment violations to private skates prior to evaluations. Riverside Minor was on that list.
The tampering rules, in my opinion, and some others' opinions, were kind of vague. Even the ones that they came out with in that new bulletin that you just read are still somewhat vague.
A coach received a 15-game suspension and the association a $5,000 fine. Riverside is on the list, but the incident happened almost a year ago. Jay Jubenville, the RMHA VP of Travel, says the coach at the time was with another association, but received word he was getting a team with Riverside.
Our coach did not promise anybody anything other than he would like to see them at our tryouts.
Jubenville says the new landscape has turned centers against each other.
The person who made the complaint went directly to the OMHA and the OHF.
Jubenville also believes associations are being forced to roll out the red carpet. Riverside Minor now provides their coaches with a stipend to be behind the bench. They've also added additional programming like power skating and skills development in order to be competitive on and off the ice.
You got to offer the best package. If not, the kids will look somewhere else.
LaSalle Minor Hockey is looking at adding a coaching stipend as well. A video room and dryland training area has been available for the first time at the Vollmer Complex this season. Levac says coaches are picked for next season, but won't be made official before February 15th in order to avoid tampering.
Once you tell the coach that he's got the team, it's pretty hard to keep it to yourself. It's open borders now, so it's almost like a dogfight now to see who gets what now.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Bitter cold can do more than make your morning commute uncomfortable. It can put real strain on your vehicle. With Windsor expected to hit a high of -18 this weekend, drivers are being urged to take extra precautions. Here's CTV's Sanjay Mauro.
When temperatures drop into a deep freeze, many drivers may just be focused on having enough gas to get where they need to go. But mechanics say some issues are not visible from the driver's seat. They can be missed without a closer look.
Lately, we've been seeing a lot of rodent damages under the hood.
That's right. Rodents. Staff inside this Ford service department say they started to see more cases of the damage they can do a few weeks ago after temperatures raised to record warm levels in Windsor. But the swing back to bitter cold has driven animals to seek shelter, sometimes in engine compartments, and in one case, form a nest.
Last week, we had a vehicle come in and had an engine light on and noticed that there was some chewed up wiring underneath, which led to under the car. So once my technician lifted it up in the air, pulled the shield underneath off, right up in the top corner, there was an actual baby possum that was stuck there.
Here at the Battery Man in Windsor, staff say drivers should watch for signs of corrosion around the battery terminals and clean it off to help ensure a proper connection. But even something as simple as leaving a light or a dash cam on can prove consequential when you need to leave for work on a cold winter morning.
They have a gentle pull on your battery, but when you leave it, say, for the weekend, you're not driving your car, that can result into you having trouble starting on Monday morning.
And of course, there are the tires. For some drivers, snowy conditions mean automatically switching to winter tires. But this shop says for most urban driving in southwestern Ontario, all-weather tires are the better option.
Good bang for the buck, and also it helps on your car insurance as well. If you're constantly going up north to North Bay or something, yes, that's where the winters will come in handy. A lot of big trips like that. But if you're going to London, Toronto, those all-weathers, much better than an all-season.
All-season tires can handle some cold, but they're not meant for snow and ice. All-weather tires, however, are designed for winter driving, marked by this snowflake symbol without the need to change tires each season. Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
And meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full entire weather details coming up in about 2 minutes' time. And still ahead, an NHL hockey team profiting from the sizzling hot television series Heated Rivalry. Gary, we're getting ready to add some snow to these frigid cold temperatures.
Potentially upwards of 5 centimeters of snow, Stefanie, through the overnight into tomorrow morning's commute. It has been a bitterly cold day. Wind chill values -25 and lower. More of the same tomorrow, not as cold, but still well below seasonal. We'll talk about the stats for tomorrow and beyond in just a moment. Today's daytime high, look at this, -10. Our average high is -1.1. The low was a chilling -16.2. It felt like about -25 to -28 earlier this morning when we were dealing with mid-minus teens in terms of temperatures. Lake effect snow. That's well to our north, off the eastern shores of Lake Superior. And then, of course, we're looking at Georgian Bay. That is textbook formation. It all depends on, of course, the wind profile from where it comes from, emanates, right? Direction. This system is going to blanket southern Ontario. Right now, this hour, over parts of Wisconsin, moving into the Lake Michigan area. Obviously, western Michigan will get hit first, and then it will slide further east and paint us with lots of white. On this map, more of a purplish hue. Look at this. Upwards of now 9 centimeters in Chatham-Kent, 8 centimeters. Again, this is a computer simulation as we look at the next 24 hours. At least 5 centimeters, I think, is likely for Windsor, Essex. I think Chatham-Kent could see 8 to 12. And then, of course, higher amounts, perhaps, as we head towards London, Kitchener, Waterloo, and then northward bound from there towards the Grey Bruce region, Wyerton, Owen Sound, etc. Overnight temperatures down to about -13, feeling like about -18 to -20 with snow and windy conditions. And again, the winds are strong, just like today, for tomorrow. I'm calling for a high of -1. That might surprise you. We'll warm up, relatively speaking, to a seasonal value at -1. That would be average. By the way, our average low for this time of the year is -9. Take a look at Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll see very cold temperatures during the day, especially Friday, Saturday, as we look at lows also early in the morning or very late at night. Those are core temperatures, not wind chill values. In the -teens, might even be in the low -20s. Monday, Tuesday, looking at fair weather, some sunshine, but still cold. Air temperature is what we're dealing with. Several degrees below seasonal. Let's look at your weather.
Strong remarks from Canada's Prime Minister addressing leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Without mentioning Donald Trump, Mark Carney also said the rules-based world order is fading. We are in the midst of a rupture, not a transition, and we must adapt. And he reaffirmed Canada's support for Greenland. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver is in Davos with more on Carney's remarks, which triggered an audible reaction of support from the room.
Nestled in the usually calm mountains of the ski town Davos, a chaotic meeting of hundreds of politicians and top business leaders at the World Economic Forum that this year Prime Minister Mark Carney used to deliver a frank message about the future.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just.
Carney declared the U.S.-led world order dead and said countries must turn inward now that it's clear integration can lead to subordination.
Call it what it is, a system of intensifying great power rivalry where the most powerful pursue their interests using economic integration as coercion.
Withstanding those economic shocks, the Prime Minister said will require like-minded countries to pivot, to work together to hedge uncertainty. While Trump's name was never mentioned, Carney did call on middle powers like Canada to push back against domination by great powers, using tariffs as leverage and supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited.
In a world of great power rivalry, the countries in between have a choice. Compete with each other for favor or to combine to create a third path with impact.
The message receiving what organizers described as a rare standing ovation at a summit where geopolitics and the future of Greenland is looming large.
Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland and calls for focused talks to achieve our shared objectives of security and prosperity in the Arctic.
Carney may get a chance to raise his concerns about Greenland directly to the U.S. president. While no meeting is currently scheduled between Carney and Donald Trump, the U.S. president will be here tomorrow at the same time as Mark Carney. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Davos, Switzerland.
President Trump spent the one-year anniversary of his return to office touting what he called successes in office. Here's Joy Melvin.
Marking his first year of his second term.
It's big stuff, too. Look, we have the hottest country in the world.
The president giving his own assessment, flashing mugshots of immigration arrests.
They're murderers, they're drug lords.
Applauding his biggest achievement, his crackdown in U.S. cities on undocumented immigrants, admitting he felt bad about the fatal shooting of Renee Good, whose parents are Trump supporters.
I felt horribly when I was told that the young woman who was had the tragedy.
The president touted his victories, the capture of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro, bombing Iran's nuclear facilities. But 1 year later, it's a battle of narratives. Prices have increased because of Donald Trump's tariffs. Americans are struggling. Polls give him failing marks on his promise to bring down prices, and many disapprove of his foreign adventures.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
Trump is digging in, posting an AI image of him planting a U.S. flag on Greenland, claiming it as U.S. territory. The Arctic island belongs to Denmark, a NATO ally.
We will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy, but we need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security.
And threatening new tariffs against NATO allies who get in the way. A fracture in the NATO alliance the French president described as a world without rules.
We do believe that we need more growth, we need more stability in this world. But we do prefer respect to bullies.
European leaders calling out the president in no uncertain terms.
Let me put this in words you might understand. Mr. President, off.
France offered to host an emergency summit on tensions, but Trump dismissed it as he gets set to speak to leaders on the Davos stage, again insisting there's no going back on his plan to take Greenland. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Trump's latest tariff threats created market turmoil, with several stock indexes in New York plummeting by the most in a single day since October. But in Canada, the stock market fared better, in part because of gold, which reached another record high, surging amid the uncertainty. Here's CTV's John Valley-Rao.
So this is the 1 ounce gold Canadian maple leaf.
Justin Yampolsky showed us a typical 1 ounce gold coin that just today shot up in value more than $100, with Donald Trump's threats adding to gold's shine in a huge way.
It was really showing how economically uncertain the entire world is. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Everybody is kind of hedging their bets, and everybody just wants security, however they can find it.
Precious metals are seen as a safe haven in times of turmoil, and Trump creating plenty of that, with gold surging past $4,700 an ounce for the first time ever.
We've reached numbers a lot quicker than I would have expected.
After a stunning 66% rise last year, gold is already up more than 9% in the month of January. In part, central banks have been buying it as countries pivot away from the U.S. dollar.
Stocks are still sharply lower, but they're off the worst level.
And today, investors were selling U.S. stocks, markets down sharply, what some called the Sell America trade. While Toronto's main index fared better, in part because gold mining stocks were on the rise. Canada is the fourth largest gold producer in the world, behind China, Russia, and Australia. In northern Ontario, the Madsen gold mine started up operations again just last year under new ownership. It was closed for decades when the price of gold was low and now employs 280 people.
It's a very exciting time for Canadian gold miners, for sure. I mean, it's
It's fun to be mining gold when a gold bull market is on.
A gold boom that's driving more investment in Canadian mines and boosting the value of Canadian exports.
As for gold's strong run, some bank analysts believe it could hit $5,000 US an ounce by the end of the year. John Benavalli-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index was weighed down by broad-based losses amid geopolitical tensions. In Toronto, the TSX fell 340 points. In New York, the Dow lost 871, the Nasdaq dropped 561, the Canadian dollar up 1/5 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold gained $170 an ounce, oil added $1 a barrel.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Drip by drip, the price of coffee continues to rise. The latest Statistics Canada numbers show a 30% increase from last year. CTV's Peter Sperling reports.
Ryan Scala's daily pick-me-up comes at a cost.
Trying to keep enjoying the caffeine kick, but save $1 where possible.
According to the latest Statistics Canada inflation numbers, coffee is up 30% year over year.
I think it's pretty crazy.
With local roasters, coffee shops seeing an increase in what they pay for coffee too.
Our price increase was between 40 and 45% rather than 30% because, again, a higher quality coffee, attract, definitely higher prices.
At Happy Goat Coffee Company, owner Henry Assad says he's absorbed most of it, only raising prices slightly, about 5%.
We need to keep our customers happy.
Economists say there are several factors to blame, including bad growing weather and more global demand driving up prices.
2025 was not an easy year for coffee and coffee drinkers.
Grocery expert Sylvain Charbois says grocery store prices the most impacted.
Absolutely. And if you see a sale, grab a few bags.
Something many coffee drinkers have noticed.
I've noticed that for sure, that also with some brands that maybe I consider to be less quality are a lot more expensive.
Yeah, they've gone up, but people need their coffee. They'll spend as much as they can to get it.
I just buy whatever's on sale.
It would be around $18 for the tub. Now it's $33.
Despite the higher cost, Scala and others willing to pay.
You need to start a day with a cup of coffee. It's a must.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Gary joins us again for a final look at the weather tonight. Gary.
Tonight, still cold with snow moving into our region. Windy for tomorrow, southwesterlies probably in that 25 to 30K range, sustained with gusts higher, 45, 50 and beyond, especially along the north shores of Lake Erie and for our friends on beautiful Pelee Island. Blowing snow, certainly a concern along area highways and county roads over the next 24 hours. More flurries on Thursday. Now, tomorrow's high is -1, but it's really about the snow in the morning through the early mid-afternoon. And a couple of notes here. Those -teens to -20 wind chill, again, on top of that, could make it feel like -25 to -33 as we head towards Thursday overnight into Friday morning, and Saturday morning in particular overnight into Sunday. And then we'll see temperatures fall off just a touch, but still be several degrees below seasonal a week from now. So cold with snow in the way, some shoveling to do likely. Do take it easy out there and dress for the occasion. Good night.
An NHL team is trying to capitalize on the popularity of a hockey drama series, Heated Rivalry, while supporting an Eastern Ontario Pride organization. With more, here's Kimberly Johnson.
Jenny Asselin is an Ottawa Senators fan and a Heated Rivalry fan. She was caught off guard when the worlds collided at the Canadian Tire Centre.
Going to buy a commemorative puck, and sure enough, there's a Hollander and a Rosenhoff jersey right there waiting for me. It was just serendipity, really.
The Senators have released Heated Rivalry-inspired Sens jerseys. Fans of the series can now buy Senators jerseys with the names Hollander and Rosenhoff on the back. The popular Crave original series is a love story about pro hockey players Shane Hollander and Ilya Rosenhoff, who are on rival teams.
We had the idea on Friday morning, and we had a whole bunch of jerseys in the store by Saturday night at our game, and sold out within probably an hour before the first period was over.
Peter Shire with the Senators says the store was getting requests for the specialized jerseys from Heated Rivalry fans. So they had some made up ahead of Saturday's game against Montreal. He says online sales are also popular.
We woke up on Sunday morning, we had orders from, I think, Germany, Sweden, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Sweden, from all over the world. So it really, it's great.
In all, he says about 50 jerseys have already been sold, and proceeds will be going towards Ottawa Pride hockey.
Heated Rivalry has been a really fun topic of conversation lately. I feel it's been taking over conversations in the locker room, and it's a great, wholesome show.
Ottawa Pride Hockey is an inclusive hockey recreation league for the queer community. And with about 200 regular players, the league's co-coordinator says the goal is to make sure everyone sees themselves on the ice and on a hockey jersey.
So important to be able to see yourself as a kid, even as an adult now, just like, okay, I am welcome here.
And with the city of Ottawa set to play a possible role in the upcoming season 2 of Heated Rivalry, now fans can have the best of both worlds.
A fun little thing to see the Sens sort of embrace.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
That's your news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. See you right back here tomorrow.